Aw, why so blue, Panda Bear? Because my whole life I've always been too shy to talk to people I find attractive. Oh my god, we're so hot. This reserved demeanor of mine has done nothing but cause trouble for me. Well, I can shed some non-biased light on the subject for you. Do you know why? Is it because you're an alien? It's because I'm an alien. You see, my simple friend, the human brain cannot comprehend that other people live their own lives. All of these lives are equally vivid and full of problems, emotions, and fears as their own. One of these problems includes anxiety. Now, everyone is taught that anxiety is an emotion that we feel towards stressful situations, such as giving a speech, meeting someone attractive in your case, or masturbating in a public stall. It's a crucial part of the human evolution that prevents them from unnecessarily risky situations that could hinder their overall goal as a biological creature. Getting all up in that pink. However, like any other part of the human brain, this emotion can be kicked into overdrive for countless reasons, usually involving traumatic experiences, whether emotional, physical, or both. Unlike other disorders, things don't get better over time, and most refuse to seek aid because it makes them look weak, they don't want to admit they have a problem, or they genuinely believe they don't have an issue altogether. This creates a dangerous perpetuation of toxic inertia that ultimately leads to an adult that appears unstable, difficult to approach, or a Trump supporter. Humans have a very grim history regarding other humans that were deemed mentally unstable or those who question the status quo. Possibly the saddest example of this took place in 1846 with a man named Ignaz Semmelweis, or as I like to call him, Ig Nasty. The TLDR version of Ig Nasty's story is that he discovered that if you properly wash your hands between working with corpses and aiding in childbirth, less people died. A concept that seems obvious to us, but back then it was considered an insult, with most saying that Ig Nasty was just placing the blame on doctors. As you can imagine, this didn't go well with his peer group, making him lose his job as one, his credibility, and worst of all, they all stopped buying his mixtape. Semmelweis spent the rest of his life trying to convince people that washing their hands was a key aspect to the medical profession. This went in vain for a number of years until finally he was checked into an insane asylum where he would eventually die in a puddle of his own feces. So the next time you see that weird guy pitching a tent on the bus, though his methods are unconventional, he might be harboring the cure for cancer. Can you hold on a second? I have to use the bathroom. Wait, before you go, I have something for you. Ooh, like a gift? Yep, here you go. A dirty napkin you found on the floor isn't a gift. Yeah, and while I'm explaining the intricacies of anxiety, probably isn't the time for a tinkle. Can I move on? Thank you. This state of mind persists to this day and continues to plague the growth of our society. For most humans, it only takes one misheard statement from a conversation 4 miles away that they heard from a friend who farted through a walkie-talkie to immediately label everyone who was actually in the conversation as an asshole. So how does this circle back to anxiety disorders? Well, for those with such disorders, normal and mundane social interactions already feel like redecorating the inside of your eye sockets with 6 inches of hot steel. So working up the courage to do simple things like have a conversation with friends, responding to Facebook messages, or making eye contact with another living creature can prove to be a bit challenging. Mix this in with an unwarranted hate stemming from an old smelly walkie-talkie, and you have a state of mind where the anxiety-afflicted have to assume that the whole world hates them. A person often kind enough to do anything to help another human being must walk the earth feeling like a leper. Every move he makes, every word he says, makes him even more of an asshole in the eyes of an unforgiving and uncaring society that will never reciprocate a fraction of his compassion for others' well-being. He will be forced to question his monumental inadequacies, as society's standards will always outgrow his need for acceptance. Every day is a new failure, forcing him to turn to drugs and alcohol to find reason amongst the chaos, until finally he has nothing left but to focus on his favorite hobbies, like making perfectly toasted bread during a thunderstorm in front of a train, or practicing his bartending by mixing his world-renowned pineapple and cyanide cocktail, or even trying his hand at modern art by portraying a tire swing from the rafters. The scariest part is that the universe itself is just as inherently cold and unfeeling, which haunts all sentient creatures with the meaninglessness of existence. For this reason, humans cling to arbitrary beliefs and creeds in order to stave off the void of inadequacy, but as a result leads to racism, prejudice, and genocide. This facade will carry the human race just long enough until eventually all that's left of them are radio waves hurtling throughout the universe so that one day my people can watch reruns of the Jetsons. But anyway, I'm just an alien, so what do I know? Cocktail?